This anime does not exist. This military anime does not exist. Whatever this is, it is not anime. This may look like anime, but it does not exist. There is no series where a girl is sucking on a weird diamond thing attached around her neck. Well, I'd like to read whatever this is. This is the whole story. Ignoring her legs, this could be anime, but it isn't. I wonder what this group of kids is up to. Well, the answer is nothing, because they don't exist. Even this busty angel does not exist when it comes to anime. So what am I going on about? Well, there is a website called This Anime Does Not Exist. And while it may make YouTube shriek in terror upon seeing this layout, it is a very interesting website for many reasons. This anime does not exist are computer-generated images based on an algorithm upon observing a lot of images of anime and manga to generate various different pictures of, I believe, ushi is the word, or ushi, I don't know. Whatever the case may be, it generates lots of images, and there's some interesting things about these image generations. Not only is there seemingly an infinite amount of them, but you can click on them and look at the various different creativity of the image. So when an image is generated, it's not actually one image, but many images based on a creativity value, being more simplistic versions of anime to the more complex, starting at a very tame image, going to something a lot more chaotic. And there's a little story that progresses throughout these. Sometimes it is the loss of innocence, such as in that case, this case here, even here to an extent. While other times it can just be more weird random details getting filled in. Other times it can progress into abject bizarrety, starting with a rather simple, straightforward anime image and turning into a surrealist manga you might read and go, well, that was weird, I don't know what I just read. And sometimes it can start in a nightmarish form and progress into a nightmarish image. So what do I want to do today with these non-existing animes? Well, my thought is I'm going to grab several that interest me. I am going to choose one image out of the several that get generated, and then I'm going to come up with a story for them. After that, I'm going to grab a few more, and I'm going to go through the creativity slider and make up a narrative based on that. If you think that could be interesting, well then, stick around. If not, sod off. Alright, I think I have a good list. To start with, we have something a little weird. We have big man and little lady holding hands and wearing very similar jackets. Probably a rom-com of some sort, or maybe a slice of life manga about a guy with an unnaturally large head or a lady with a far too small head. This here makes me think of cooking anime. Little chef's hat on top up there. She's holding a knife. The artist does not know how to draw hands, so you just have to give him a break. Very cooking anime, very serious, freaky eyes going on there. This here looks like a 90s drawing, like if you touch it up a little bit, it looks like a 90s drawing from the old sci-fi that we do in the West here. A very weird sort of mecha angel girl thing happening here. This here is perhaps the beginning of a novel when they do their fancy drawing at the end of the mysterious girl. I'm going to call her, I don't know, what's a good Japanese name? Shota Yaoi. There we go, we'll call her Shota Yaoi. And she's got very purpley hair, that means she's kind of serious character with those big eyes, mysterious pinks, flowing wind. Might be about her being a shrine maiden. I don't know. Yeah, shrine maiden, but evil shrine maiden, because she's lacking white in her clothing, the whites around her. Now this here, girl with very odd headpiece, light blue hair, very smiley. She's probably like a love interest in a harem anime, slice of life's harem anime. They're going to some weird academy, so they all have weird hairdos going on. Who knows? It's just an innocent girl, school uniform, nothing to it. Now this here is, well, ignore her legs coming out above her dress. Imagine the dress is over her legs. And that's just a very lovely image of perhaps, I don't know, we're about 8 seasons, not 8 seasons, we're 8 episodes in, maybe even 9 episodes in, and they're no longer in their school clothing. They're out for a walk on the town, and she's spinning around to look at the protagonist, her dress floofing up, and she's like, "Oh, protagonist-san, you're so handsome, I like being with you, but I can't admit it to myself, so this is all in my head." She's just like, "Okay, let's have fun together." You know, one of those cases. Now this here reminds me of some old children's manga that you just don't really know what's going on in it. The drawing's not the greatest, and you're just kind of like, what? This here is when the artist does a little bit of LSD. He's about, I don't know, 4 seasons in, and this is the finale, and the girl's powering up to kill, so I'm about to pull out her sword. Instead of using the traditional artworks, they've gone out the old ink fountain pen, or just the ink pen they dip in, they're scratching about, going a little crazy like, and the artwork just goes boom, and this is right before the final fight. They're powering up and the art's going all crazy. "Oh, Totoro, you approach me. Well, I shall use my stand. Annoyed, pissed off girl look." And the 88, she's wearing like a prison cuff. I don't know, this just gives me a bit of JoJo vibes, like just her expressing that absolute disdain. She's looking down on you. A little bit of floof there. Interesting panel work. Definitely actually resembles a manga slightly. Not exactly certain where I start. She's a delinquent. Yeah, she's a delinquent. She's about to beat you up either with her psychic powers or her fists. She's pissed. She's definitely pissed, ready to beat you up. I'm going to say delinquent manga. This here, another children's manga. You have no idea what's going on. Just people talking, yellow background, very creative, very poor artists at the same time. Yeah, don't like reading those. Now this here is Senna, the witch, and she is not the main character. She's not the support character. I'd say she's kind of like a background mentor sort of character who comes in and does stuff every once in a while. She's very powerful, not the most powerful. She will be outstripped by the protagonist and maybe a few of his companions. But she's an interesting side character that comes along every once in a while and helps out the group in either urban fantasy or maybe even a isekai. Definitely not a main character with a hat like that. This here is from a mecha anime. It just is. That's the suit they wear when they get out. Her one arm's behind her back, the other hand's raised up in the air. Got some weird booty attachment attached to their back. Flops about. Some silly part of the reason that they have to do in their mecha. But this, yeah, mecha anime. Now this here is very wholesome. If you have manga, this would be like you open up the cover and this is on the inside, nice and colored up. If it's the anime, this would be at the end when the credits are rolling. Just very wholesome image, a little bow hair. She is main love interest, no doubt about it. She is a very lovely girl. She's kind. She goes wow when the protagonist accidentally molests her or whatever you want to say. Very nice. Actually, this is quite a nice image. Quite nice. There's a few touch-ups it could do, but got a very interesting outfit too. Red's down here, blue's up here, blue-eyed, little hair tie-back thing. No, she's a good girl. This would be rom-com, slice of life. It could be depressing. It could be like Your Lie in April. She's going to die. Whatever it is, though. Definitely has romance. She's definitely main love interest in. The story is focusing on her and the love interest main character. This is an information panel about weird elbow freak with semi-real, semi-not real Japanese writing. You get this in between chapters or at the end of the manga. Yeah. Graffiti on the wall that was done by a mad person. Huh. Yeah, I got nothing here. Now this is the end scene of a show or the end of an episode, perhaps a trailer, and she's looking at the protagonist. I'm going to say this is kind of a more somber, manga anime. Could be about more serious Freudian slip almost happened there. More serious matters. Yeah, she's just looking at protagonist-san or protagonist-chan. It could even be one of those cases, in this one. She's looking all sad at him. It's like, the sea, it's calling me. And then she walks off into the sea and drowns herself. I don't know. This could be a lot more happy, and this is just a little bit of bittersweetness. So this image just gives you a bit of bittersweet by the ocean, scene. Okay, this is an old style. When I was in Japan, I went to an old library. They had a lot of manga in there. I think it's actually a manga library. It is a very cool place. And there was actually some with this style of coloring for their pages. They had the very yellowed pages. Yellow was done on purpose. It just touched me there. It's got some sort of magic. I like to think she has a tail. She could be like a butler. She is the mentor / helper of the main character, who could be a younger adult aristocrat, and she's the helper, magic supernatural force that's helping him in his story. Okay, this here is when you open up one of those animes, you're just going along, sorry, open up one of those mangas, like, oh, I wonder what this is, and you open up and you're just hit by a wall of color, and you're blinded, and you drop the thing and run away, because unreadable. Now, this here, she wants you, or the protagonist, but you are in the place of the protagonist, very self-insert, definitely a harem anime, definitely some romantic comedy going on here, and yeah, she wants you, she's brushing her hair back, yeah. It's either clothing or her hair, I can't exactly tell, but yeah, no. This is a scene that is going to get interrupted by 2 other of the harem anime characters knocking down the door, or if there's a little bit more risque, suggestive anime, then it's going to proceed a little bit farther before it's interrupted, but it's definitely going to get interrupted. And now on to the images in the story that progresses, and we're starting off with, I don't know, some sort of ninja that turns into a mecha, and it's pretty normal, pretty well, and then the mecha gets busty for some reason. Why is the mecha game busty? I do not know. Now this here, a very respectable girl we start off with. And then she shows you how she makes her clothing dissolve. And she gets abs. That's her, yeah. She gets very happy about the whole situation. Very, very happy. Although, I think she's like wearing a thong on the outside, like silk floofy pants or something. Like this used to be a belt and then it just turned into a thong. Yeah, it's a weird one. Definitely a weird one. Now this here is a girl slowly turning into Hatsune Miku. Before this is like cute little anime girl. Then slowly into Hatsune Miku, and her outfit is a little too revealing. My goodness, this website's perverted. First there's one girl lonely at a beach. Content with herself, but lonely. Then she sort of started splitting in two in some horrific way. And then another piece of her broke off. And they formed into people, a 4th one slowly forming on the left, sort of turning into a building there inside, maybe a hot spring, natural beach. They're all coming to form. Oh, yep, there's 4 of them now. Started with 1, now there's 4. Dividing their legs and stuff. Their outfits are getting more determined. Appear to be missing a lot of, legs. They're curled up underneath them, their legs, yes. Very thick thighs. And what's going on with middle girl? Or those feet? This is just getting disturbing. Okay then. Yep, that happened. Now this here, the image that caught me is her giving what appears to be very fast motion. That's very suggestive. As her clothing gets more suggestive. It's different. Okay. Now, if anyone can explain to me what's going on in this image, let's call it image delta. Much appreciated. As it starts out normal, but then, dear God, now this here, actually, this image tickles me because she's like happy, then she gets more happy, and 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 more happy. Maybe it's because her bust is getting bigger. And her hand slowly morphs going up the side here, so this turns into an armpit, because that is shoulder. That slowly turns into an armpit, and there's a hand going up to her head, and we don't know. That's someone else's hand touching her there, because that arm's down back behind. So yeah, someone else is touching her head there. That's weird. This image is cool. I actually really like this image here. That is a piece of art, that one there. Like, you could have that as a desktop background. The other two, not so much, but then it just turns into like panels of glass, but that one, that's a cool image. Well, keep that one. Alright, wholesome girl turning into Aztec First Nations artwork. That's the best I can describe what's going on here. Okay, she turned into a vampire. Alright, this one here just interests me because this looks like a silly little manga on the bottom. Up top, I have no idea what's going on. It looks like someone's slowly dissolving into stuff. But then it looks like it could potentially be a cute little manga that's really bad art, but okay writing. So it's kind of like those cute little mangas you want to read, like this image here. Don't know what's going on, but it's like a little girl's falling over, crawling out of a hole or something. Trying to make up a lot of stuff, yeah. And this is artwork breaking down to the Matrix. Actually, these 3 images, kind of cool. This one, not so much. This one, not so much. This one, something's going on. But then it's like, bam, turning into data slides. Let's take a closer look at these. Like, that's kind of cool looking. That one's, okay. Wonder what's going on there. And this one, yeah, it's kind of disturbing. This one here is cool. And finally, I am turning into blades. My hair is, yeah, that's what we call bad hair day in motion. We feel lucky, punk. Oh my. Well, that was just weird. There we go. Yeah, okay. Another case of someone's clothing dissolving. Respectable lady turns into a respectable lady wearing a suit. Turns into someone taking off her lower shirt and getting too frisky with us. Yes, this is what happens. This is your brain. This here, this is you. This is you when you become a respectable member of society and an adult. This is when you start reading too much manga. And this is the final result of a hard-blown manga addiction, or anime viewership. Yeah, filthy weeaboo. This is the degeneracy of your mind. There are a whole bunch of sites like these. This dog does not exist. This person does not exist. This car does not exist. They're very cool, very interesting. I do like the computer-generated random images. They can give you some very, very interesting results. You can just enjoy and look at them. That actually looks fairly normal. Let's see how that thing dissolves. That one there. Who knows what's going on with that? Someone holding up a sword or a guitar. Oh my goodness, how's she managing that? This is going to get age restricted, isn't it? You should be older than 13 anyways. That's within your range of decency. Alright, well, hopefully you found the animes that don't exist quite interesting. I know I certainly do. So, if you enjoyed this, do let me know. If you want more of them, well, we'll see. Okay, later.